While I'm here, I just want to say a couple of things. Firstly, the floor of the altar here looks a lot like a time gear from the second Mystery Dungeon game. Considering this predated that, maybe the time gears were directly based on how this place looked. The other thing that I want to quickly mention is this Miltank. I want you to know my pain for a second. Miltank here was really annoying to purify. Docile nature sucks for purification, I'll just say. Because the only thing that raises its heart gauge significantly is calling it out of hyper mode. The problem is, I'm pretty sure that different natures have different rates of going into hyper mode, and what I found was, docile natures seem to almost never go into hyper mode, and that's the one reliable way to increase its heart gauge, so yeah, this Miltank took a while. Just saying. I'm really not looking forward to Metagross. I mean, I don't know what nature it is yet, but it has a 15,000 heart gauge, so that's going to take a while. So, something I forgot to show in the Snag'em hideout, if you examine this big snag machine... Actually, not that part. There we go. You get 5 Ultra Balls for examining the fallen Pokeballs near the big snag machine. So, thank you to comments for pointing this out, I forgot to show this. Okay, only one last Deep Colosseum challenge remains. It's time to face the Deep King himself. And I'm really not sure what to expect here. It's actually been a while since I fought the Deep King. So I'm going to be leading with Kickface and Dan Green, mainly because they're a little lower level than the rest of us. But also because I kind of want a lot of offense coming up against, well, I'm not really entirely sure. I know that he uses a lot of strong Pokemon. Anyway, let's take a knockout challenge. This will be our last one. No statement from Misty Jr. cheering us on. Admittedly, it does get kind of draining, the fact that you have to go through 5 rounds of this Colosseum rather than the usual 4 just to get one Shadow Pokemon. But, I don't know, I do like the being able to refight the admins in here. So, who we got now? Nellon. Change that M to an N, that N to an M, and, yeah, that would be a pretty silly name. Again, I don't know what is up with these low-level unevolved, well, not low-level, but really high-level unevolved Pokemon. Just trying to say, like, unevolved Pokemon this late into the game is what I meant, but what's up with that? There's just so many of them in these challenges. As much as I'd like to Shadow Ball that Shuppet, which is a bit of a tongue twister, I think I'd rather take out that Horsey, because Dan Green would have to waste a Fire Blast on him, and I'm not really sure I want to do that. So let's just go for an Iron Tail. Iron Tail Pikachu. I've never actually seen what that is in context, I've just seen all the meme images. What? You're like the weakest trainer we've fought here so far. What is up with the... It's like, the admins definitely get gradually stronger as you go through the rounds, but it seems like the basic trainers get worse and worse as this progresses. I mean, I guess they need to make sure that, you know, they want to keep the challenge to the end. They don't want to wear you out before the Deep King. Or they're just trying to lure us into a false sense of security, because I know that the Deep King is very powerful. In fact, he might even be stronger than Somek. I mean, at least as far as raw levels are concerned, he's definitely stronger. I don't think that crit mattered. Also, look at that 2D crowd there. You can't really see them all that much, but, yeah, goodbye. Please never compete in this place again. Well, at least she acknowledges that she's clearly not ready. Seriously, 3 unevolved Pokemon. Like, the trainers at the start of Pyrite Town were better than that. Anyway, let's hope you're a little more impressive. Who we got here? Guess we got an athlete. Okay, let's see if you can actually back those words up. I highly doubt it. Let's see. Seadra and Misdreavus. Well, that's at least a slightly better version of what the previous trainer was using. I mean, Misdreavus isn't exactly the evolution of Shuppet, but it is another ghost type. So, in this case, I think I do want to Shadow Ball that Misdreavus. I want to get rid of it, because otherwise it's probably going to be Shadow Balling me back. So let's get rid of that Misdreavus, and let's, I'll just Protect. Why not? I was wondering if the next match is going to be the last time we ever hear semi-final battle in this playthrough, but definitely not if I'm planning on showing all of Mount Battle later. I'll be hearing that a lot. Oh, Kecleon, yeah, you are a little bit more impressive than the last trainer. And there's agility. So yeah, Seadra is... Another really weird thing about Seadra is that it's one of the few middle evolutions that has a totally different ability to some of its higher forms. It gets Poison Point, but only in that stage. Horsey doesn't have Poison Point, Kingdra doesn't have Poison Point, only Seadra. Which is kind of bizarre. In fact, I might see Poison Point activate here if I'm unlucky. Yes, I will! Sometimes I can just call my bad luck. I didn't call that, though. That's really bad. Okay, just barely survive. Except that Seadra is agility boosted. Okay, I have to hope that Seadra gets greedy and tries to go for Gangrene, because otherwise I'm in trouble. Who's gonna... I'll just go for Luna. Please target Gangrene slot, that would be much appreciated. Waterfall, that was probably going to Gangrene slot, or... Thank you, good. Okay, I can breathe a sigh of relief. And I can breathe another sigh of relief that I didn't miss that. And I can also breathe a third sigh of relief that I actually carried the Kecleon, because I was worried for a second that wouldn't KO. And you have a fourth Pokemon in the wings, Kadabra. Okay, this is a problem, because I feel like that Seadra might actually go for Kick Face. Just because they sort of like to... Yeah, let's go ahead and send him Jump Off. I mean, Seadra may have Poison Point, but it's not like it's part poison or anything. Often, in the absence of having any super effective options, the AI usually likes to go for whoever's on the lowest HP. So let's see if I was right here. Yeah, I was right. I made a good call switching. And I definitely made a good call switching there. Please don't confuse. Though now I say it, it's going to happen. Okay, it didn't happen. That is surprising. I did quite a bit more than I expected. Actually, no, don't want to use Synthesis. I was just wondering there whether Secret Power would have done more, because I know it's not Stab, but Kadabra has far lower physical defense than special defense, so maybe Secret Power would have done more, or about the same. I'd say maybe about the same. Wow, that actually drained a lot more than I thought it would. Did not expect to actually finish that Seadra off outright with 1 Giga Drain. At least we have Kick Face leveling up. I like this song too. This song is pretty good. Fire Punch. Okay, yeah, that is special, and that's going to hit Jump. Okay, good. Don't burn, please. Good. Yeah, that would have been a pretty big disaster if that had... Actually, no, it wouldn't have. I would have finished the battle this turn anyway. And once again, that amazing fading animation. I still love that. It's a shame that Alakazam's fading animation is nowhere near as hilarious as Kadabra's. And Abra's just, I mean, I don't think you've seen Abra's yet. I fought Abra a lot in Mount Battle grinding for heart gauges, but I don't think I've shown any of that on camera. But Abra's fading animation looks like it's having a seizure. Oh, speaking of fading animations that are great that I've only seen in Mount Battle, Togepi. I haven't shown Togepi's fading animation yet, but it's really, really good. And also really sad. Grons. Okay, let's see if Grons can put up a fight. Mawile and Murkrow, 2 M's. Well, this is actually doubly good because I mean, either fighting or fire is effective against, Mawile. Except also you've got Intimidate. Or nope, you don't have Hyper Cutter, you just have Intimidate. So, let's see, I could go for that, or I could just... I wonder what my best chances of KOing is. Maybe that, and then maybe Fire Blast on the Murkrow. We'll see. It is weird, like, I've had a lot of luck with Sleep Powder in this playthrough and not much with Fire Blast, but that's usually how it goes with me. I don't tend to miss that often with Sleep Powder, at least not when it really matters. Fire Blast, though, fails me all the time. For some reason, Gangrene has lower experience than everyone else. Okay, you're something that Jump Up would like to fight. Well, that's probably going to Kick Face. That did more than I expected. I know I've been saying that a lot this playthrough, but often attacks do more damage than I expect. I guess I can go for you, and I'll go for another Fire Blast. Then I'll switch out to Jump Off and Giga Drain that thing. Okay, whoever's getting switched in is taking a High Jump Kick. Unless there's no switch-ins, in which case the Relicanth's taking it, and I'd be okay with that too. Nope, the Relicanth's taking it. Good. Even though, yeah, no, I did not think I would KO through Intimidate. I forget Relicanth's exact stats, but I know that it has decent HP, I think? It's one of those Pokemon that I remember it for the Reggie quest, but not so much for its actual battling prowess. There is a trainer in one of the battle modes of Mount Battle in this game who uses Relicanth, Wailord, and the 3 Reggies, which is a pretty nice reference. The weird thing is, I could have sworn there was a Jirachi Wishmaker reference in one of the Mount Battle trainers, but I don't think he's in this game. I think he's in XD. But I do know there's someone who uses, like, Jirachi, Dusclops, and a bunch of other things. Anyway, that Relicanth just used Skull Bash, which is a very, very strange move that, yeah, I don't really ever see it used that much competitively. I mean, they buffed it later on so that its charging turn raises your defense, but even still, it's still not really that worth waiting a turn to charge. It's just a normal time move. Might be a little better if it was... Like, for example, Sky Attack. Sky Attack can be worth it with a Power Herb sometimes, but I've never really seen Power Herb Skull Dash before. So, I think it should be time for the Deep King himself now. Yep, it's the finals. And once again, this unique trainer is just a recolored bodybuilder. Agnol. Wonder if he gets the actual Cypher admin theme or if he just uses the normal finals theme. So yeah, his levels are quite high. Yeah, they go up to 70. I forgot that he went all the way up to 70. This could actually be a struggle. I'm glad those earlier matches were so easy. Okay, Skarmory and Kingdra. Hopefully, Kingdra will not one-shot Dan Green and I'll be able to Fire Blast that Skarmory. You know, maybe Light Swim might not be such a bad idea. Kind of interesting how this guy is a, not exactly recolored. His model is a little bit modified, but he's based on a bodybuilder, just like Somek was. And it's kind of interesting that he's in some ways a dark parallel of Somek. Somek rules over the highest peak on this region. Agnol battles in the deepest part of the underground. Sableye, that's a bit of an underwhelming Pokemon. Oh, okay, but yeah, we're not actually going into the real Cypher admin battle theme here. It's kind of disappointing. Well, that missed anyway, but I think that the Light Stream would have helped there. Good thing the Sableye doesn't have Wonder Guard. Actually, don't High Jump Kick it, because, yeah, it's gonna do nothing. What to do here? I suppose I can try and Fire Blast the Sableye. But yeah, Somek was a recolored, or at least repurposed bodybuilder model, and this guy's a repurposed bodybuilder model. And like I said, they're kind of parallels of each other, so maybe you could make some kind of fanfiction about how this guy is Somek's brother, who was disgraced somehow and now battles in the underground away from prying eyes or something. I don't know. It would probably make for an interesting plotline. Alright, let's see if I can finish that Kingdra, even though this is pretty much dooming Kick Face. Let's not miss Fire Blast this time. Good. Yeah, sadly Sableye got outshadowed as a Pokemon with no weaknesses when Spiritomb came around in Gen 4, who was basically the exact same thing, but did it a bit better. Then Mega Sableye. Oh! Right, yeah. I forgot you had one of those, but I'm not really that bothered. I've got plenty of things that can hit Shedinja. Just need to make sure that I'm not reduced to nothing but Pokemon that can't hurt it. Girafarig? Definitely not the Pokemon that I expect from you. Okay, so it's just these two and then his Shadow Shuckle. I guess I'll just Shadow Ball the Shedinja, and I suppose I'll just Fire Blast the Giraffe. Kind of had a feeling that would survive. And Shedinja is obviously not going to survive because it's got 1 HP. Any super effective move will take it out instantly. There goes Shedinja. It's not worth all that much experience either. Sometimes I feel like... also, here is that Shuckle. I feel like the experience that a Pokemon gives is directly proportional. Like, I'm in the base experience. I know that it's based on what level they are and other things like that. But the experience that a Pokemon gives, I feel, is actually mainly comes from their HP stat. Because Pokemon with high HP tend to give a lot of experience more often than not. Like Blissey. Blissey gives an enormous amount of experience, and Ordino gives a lot of experience. So it's usually things with high HP. Anyway, let's do that, and let's... So Shuckle has this paradoxical combination of having enormous defenses but terrible HP. So we're going to have to watch out for that. Because it's not quite as bulky as you'd probably think. Counter return! So I'm going to need to be a bit careful here. Probably want to bring in Jump Off preemptively so I can put the Shuckle to sleep. It shouldn't be that hard to catch, though. Oh, yeah, by the way, this is why I got more netballs earlier. Now, if you didn't snag Croconaw during the main storyline, you could use your netballs for that, too, when you're catching it in the post-game. But, obviously, as well, netballs work great on Shuckle. Uh-oh. Please don't recall yourself to the... Well, I mean, admittedly, yeah, you're not going to be doing very much damage because Shuckle's attacking stats are some of the worst in the game. It has literally the worst speed in the game, I'm pretty sure. And it has... I think some of the worst attacking stats... Oh, no, it's tied with Munchlax for the worst speed in the game. Except not in this generation, because Munchlax doesn't exist yet. Oh, I forgot to mention Munchlax. Munchlax also cameoed in Gen 3 before Gen 4. So there are a lot of Gen 4 Pokemon cameos in Gen 3. They really wanted to promote Gen 4. Okay, well, I'm not paralyzing you, at least. Really, all that's left now is to slowly use weak moves, and then I will use my netballs. Although, I have a feeling this might catch in one go. This is probably the last time I'm going to need Secret Power on Umbreon as well, because the next Shadow Pokemon we encounter is one we really don't want to be weakening at all. 1, 2, 3... Shuckle, get! Netballs have not failed me once against bug types, I believe. To describe Shuckle's stats as lopsided would be a massive understatement. Shuckle has the best defense and special defense in the entire game, bar none. But it also has the worst special attack and speed, and third worst HP and attack in the entire game, bar none. Shuckle's stats are so lopsided that when I tried to give this graph the right scale, it was completely unreadable due to the defense and special defense arrows being way too thin. So I represented it the same way that I did back with Metatite, and intentionally glitched the chart. So, Shuckle's stats are quite hard to make work effectively. Its defenses are enormous, but they're offset by its terrible HP, so it's actually not as bulky as you'd probably think it is. It also cannot attack worth anything. The only direct offensive moves you'd even think about running on Shuckle are things like Wrap and Bind, more for their utility value of trapping the opponent than their actual damage, and so you're not completely taunt bait. Because Shuckle really hates taunt. You'll be doing the majority of damage with Shuckle as residual damage via Toxic, Sandstorm, or one of those aforementioned moves, which this Shuckle can't use because it's already passed up learning them. So Shuckle is a very, very passive Pokemon, but it does get one move that helps with that, Encore. Normally a Pokemon as passive as Shuckle is completely setup bait, but Encore scares stat boosters out of trying to set up on you, because if they do, you'll lock them into their stat boosting move. So out of your starting moves, you definitely want to keep Encore. Rest is, I guess, kind of nice, because it's the only recovery move that Shuckle gets. The problem with it is that in the 2 turns that you're spending asleep, the opponent's probably going to be able to take away just as much health as you'd lost before because of Shuckle's terrible HP. Yeah, Shuckle could really use an instant recovery move, but sadly it doesn't get one. Safeguard is okay for team support, I guess, if you're playing doubles. But I feel like there are better uses of that move. If you're going to use this Shuckle, you really want to make sure that you have the TM for Toxic handy, because it's really the only way Shuckle can do damage. Overall, Shuckle's bad HP holds it back from being a really great wall, and you really want to watch out for Taunt and Steel types. But Shuckle can occasionally be annoying if you run the right moveset on it. It certainly got a lot better in Gen 6 when it gained access to Sticky Web, but sadly this isn't Gen 6. So we've defeated Deep King Agnol. For someone who has level 70 Pokemon, he was actually kind of easy. And we got Shadow Shuckle too, so one more Shadow Pokemon that I need to work on purifying. And one more Shadow Pokemon off the list. We barely get any money from that either. So, we don't even get Winner TM from that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure those are the 4 official rounds. Well, I mean, you probably are able to battle Deep King Agnol whenever you want, but you probably have to go through all of the rounds again, because I think at this point the rounds cycle. I actually forget how this works. I don't know if you fail to snag Shuckle, maybe you always also... Shuckle should not have gone there, Shuckle should have gone here. I'm organizing my Pokemon based on when I caught them. But yeah, you should probably be able to rematch Agnol infinitely until you catch the Shuckle. I don't know if his round stays that way. Okay, I'm guessing you got a plus special defense nature and possibly a minus defense nature, we'll see. Or maybe a plus special attack nature. But now that we've snagged Shadow Shuckle, what do we do next? Well, I guess we'll have to go back to the surface and see if we can get an email. Because there's only one more post-game quest to go. One last hurrah for the Ore region. One more Shadow Pokemon to snag. And then we'll have them all. It'll be one of the few Pokemon games where I actually have caught them all. Because I generally don't care much about Pokédex completion. Okay, there's an email. Let's see what we got here. What's with you? Dash the Athletes. How do you have our email address? I'm just an ordinary citizen who happens to run around the town's fountain, so what gives you the right to have your Pokemon attack me? Well, that's interesting. We better go over there and see what all the fuss is about. Unless Wes has been doing things while I've been turning the game off, there's no way that could have been us. So let's go ahead and sort things out. We also get another email. List completed. So there is one more Shadow Pokemon, it's Togetic. That completes the analysis of the data ROM. And we've snagged everything except that Togetic, so that's the last thing we need to do. Firstly though, let's check out that guy. We know him because he's the guy who runs around the fountain. I mean, there are no other guys who run around fountains that we know. No we're not. But he won't believe us. He's got nothing to say. Wow. But we're innocent. Yeah, where's Phoenix right when you need him? I remember I said that back when I did a Fire Emblem 4 playthrough. For a certain moment in that game. Hey you, did you see anything? Well, you're still on our side. You, what about you? You see anything? Doesn't look like anyone else knows anything new, so let's try and head somewhere else and see if we get any more email leads. The postgame isn't all about following emails, it only makes sense that the very last postgame quest involves following a lot of emails, and I do mean a lot of emails. So, another email. And no, it's not my items, it's in my actual P*DA emails. Who is this? Bit from the under. Right, that looks like irrefutable proof that we're up to no good. But there has to be some mistake here. I mean, we don't even have the Shadow Togetic yet. That and West would never do something like that. So, nothing else really to do except try and go around and follow some more leads and see where they, well, lead us. Okay, good, another email. Watch TV. Okay, I'm nowhere near a television. Let's fix that. Where is the closest TV to here? Probably have to go to Phoenix City. Guess all the travel time means it'll probably be off the news by now, but I guess they probably have 24-hour news stations here, and they probably repeat stories a lot. The one time in my life I ever watched 24-hour news, they repeated like every 5 minutes. It was really annoying. Anyway. Finally, the news is something new for us. And finally, we actually have this news theme. By a brat, in all capitals, who declined to reveal his identity. So, it's back to the under, even though I was already on my way there. I had the right idea, but wrong timing, I guess. Or I could get another email on my way to the under. Live TV news. And we need to watch TV again. Even though we spent all this way getting here, only to have to go all the way back to the TV again. As much as I'd love to watch Venus's TV, I don't think it works for this purpose. Okay, back to the TV news. Outskirts set. Wait a minute. That's Ryder Willie. He's been, well, I wouldn't exactly call him a friend, but we've fought him a few times and he seems like a pretty nice guy. We have to help him. So, that's where we need to go. The outskirts stands. And I should mention, at this point, you want to be prepared for a fight. So, I have these two in the lead just because they've, well, they need level ups more than anyone else on my team. But also, this is one of only 2 times in the game where nest balls are actually good for something. So, maybe if you have any nest balls, well, I don't have any nest balls, but yeah. Also, you want to be very, very careful in this next fight. You'll find out why once I get to the Shadow Pokemon. Also, yeah, this is my absolute favorite area transition. I love that. So, let's see what's going on. Oh, hi there, news reporter. Never thought we'd actually see you in person. And your name is Anka. Really? Yeah, your parents already had your career planned out, didn't they? It's more like that other man looks exactly the same as us. Well, I guess we can't lose here because, well, we're gonna be on live TV. Hey, Willie, what's going on? What's going on here? Hello there, imposter. Obviously, we are. So it's time to fight Shady Guy me. But the fact that he's using the Cypher Peon theme should tell you something. Now, this guy's team is very strong. It's probably the strongest fight in the post-game. Well, apart from his Shadow Pokemon, we'll see that when we get there. But here's the thing. I like the concept of his team. What this guy uses is, he has all of the replacement Pokemon by all the admins. So Mirabee replaced his Shadow Sudowoodo if you snagged it with an Armaldo. Dakim replaced his Shadow Entei with a Houndoom. So, as you can tell, we're going to be fighting later on. We'll be facing Manectric and Melodic and, I'm guessing an Alakazam or an Aggron, because those are the replacement Pokemon of Nazgul and Evice. But anyway, let's see if we can take out that Armaldo right off the bat. Okay, it didn't protect or anything like that. It's also cool that this kind of comes full circle. Our very first battle was at the Outskirts stand. Now our last battle is at the Outskirts stand. Wow, that did a lot of damage. Oh, I guess these Pokemon are pretty high level though. Probably want to take that thing out with Suicune when I get the chance. Okay, I'm guessing Ancient Power on Dan Green. Well, you used a rock move. Hit twice, maybe? Even hitting twice is going to be enough. That's the thing with Rock Blast. It is pretty powerful. Even if it only hits twice, it's still, well, I mean 50 power. But 50 power with Stab is still 75, so still decent. Actually, maybe I could use Kick Face to take out that Houndoom. Kind of feel like our last battle in the post-game deserves a bigger fanfare in terms of music, but I guess this theme fits. So Houndoom goes down in one shot. Nice job, Kick Face. What have you got next? Manectric. Yeah, like I said, it's all the replacement Pokemon of the admins, but I'm not sure what his fifth Oh, wait, no, now I know. It's Gyarados. He has Gonzap's replacement is his last Pokemon that's not Shadow. So I've got to watch out for a Gyarados later, and considering how much trouble I've had with Gyarados this playthrough so far, I'm not so sure I'm gonna do well against that. Okay then, let's see. I'm gonna... should I target the Manectric or should I target the Melodic? I kind of feel like targeting the Manectric just because I feel like it's going to be a bigger threat to Suicune. Suicune is going to be able to tank the Melodic pretty easily, but if this Manectric is on the field... Oh, nice shot. Okay. I'm sure Gyarados is coming out. Please don't send in your Shadow Togetic. That would be terrible. Also, you leveling up to 61 is actually not the best thing in the world. Okay, good. You didn't send out the Togetic yet. There's a reason why I don't want to double target a slot while the Togetic is still in the wings. Okay, this is probably going to hurt a lot. Well, if it's a crit, it certainly will. Had to get one of those. But I guess yeah, I'm kind of fine. Okay, I'm going to just smack that Gyarados with a Psychic. But I probably, like I said, even though I don't think a double... Yeah, no, I don't think that a Psychic and a Fade Attack will carry the Gyarados. Also, hey, we have Sol and Luna fighting together one last time, I suppose. Although, not really, because, like I said, there's also Mount Battle. And the reason why I plan to do that will become evident eventually, but for now, I'm just going to try and take out that Gyarados as quickly as I can, because I don't like Gyaradoses. Yeah, when I do XD, I definitely plan to have an electric move on the team. Well, while we're at it, you could do some damage to your own Melodic. That's going to be helpful, actually. Wow, that was a lot of damage. Oh, please don't Hydro Pump Sol. Oh, okay. Well, that's actually going to be frustrating when the Shadow Togetic comes out. But for now, we'll just focus on... Let's see. I don't want to double target that Gyarados unless I get a critical hit or something like that, because if I do get a critical hit with Psychic, then the Togetic will come out, and I don't want to be hitting that Togetic at all. Well, didn't even need a crit. So you're about to find out why I was so worried about that Togetic coming out early when I was double targeting into a slot. You'll see. It's only level 20. So, just like that Remoraid earlier in the game, do not attack this Togetic at all. You will probably one-shot it with just about anything if you've been keeping your levels decently. That Melodic has got 2 crits. I suppose Sol goes up, but I mean, Sol would have gone down to a non-crit anyway. Ah, Safeguard's still up, I just realized. Actually, I suppose I can Giga Drain that thing. Like I said, though, I've got to be careful that I don't end up accidentally double targeting the Togetic. Because I think Giga Drain will finish that thing off. Well, maybe. It has decent special defense, we'll see. Guess I'll use Luna's turn to immediately chuck a Snag Ball. Because, yeah, you'll probably be forced to try and snag this Togetic from full health. Or you could do that. Because, yeah, trying to weaken this thing is most likely going to end in absolute disaster. 1, 2... Nope. And even using False Swipe, you run the risk of it using Shadow Rush and knocking itself out, so I would... I wouldn't have even KO'd. Am I seriously doing more damage with neutral Feint Attack from Umbreon than I am with super effective... That's really bizarre. It's more like Sweet Wave than Sweet Kiss. Guess I should mention a bit of random trivia. Sweet Kiss is called Angel's Kiss in Japanese. It makes a lot more sense with the animation, especially for Lovely Kiss, which is called Demon's Kiss in Japanese. Considering what the animation looks like, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I don't even know why they decided to localize it as Lovely Kiss, but it's always been one of those move names that I just thought was really strange. There are a lot of Gen 1 moves that are like that. Oh, okay, that's probably a bad thing. Yes, that was a very bad thing. I mean, I wasn't really doing that much damage anyway, though. And I'm down to just 2. Hopefully this Melodic doesn't finish me off while I'm trying to get that Togetic. Let me just see how much I'm doing with this. I'm doing a slightly less or around about the same. Okay, I'm gonna get annoyed if you have a second full restore. But yeah, level 20 Togetic, which has terrible attack to begin with. Shadow Rush is not really gonna be much of a threat to you. Or it, really. But here's the problem. I really don't know what to do here. Don't want to use Surf, that'll definitely take out the Togetic. If I do catch the Togetic, I'll be able to safely double up on the Melodic. That, I think, is my best option. Really glad this guy doesn't have his own snag machine. 1. Yeah, I had a feeling it would break out in 1. Might need to revive and use Sleep Powder, possibly. That is doing a lot. Because I'm really starting to run out of Pokemon here. If you have a second full restore, I think I said that before, but yeah, if you do have a second full restore, I'm going to get very, very, very angry. I'm tempted to just revive... Oh, actually, Sleep Powder wouldn't have helped. Anyway, I'm tempted to just revive Kick Face and just high jump kick the Melodic. In fact, that might be what I do. How many revives do I have? Only 1. Well, I better make this count. Going for Ice Beam, not Hydro Pump. Okay, then. Oh, well, that was pretty impressive. Although you're probably going to get frozen, aren't you? Okay, you didn't. Nice. For a moment there, I was worried. Speaking of being worried, I don't want you to use a full restore. Oh no, please tell me that Umbreon is going to get... Okay, that'd be really embarrassing if I got taken out by level 20 Togetic. But it could still happen. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to... No, wait, I could go for Moonlight. Although I think that Melodic is faster. Don't want to take too many chances here. I'm using the last of all of my items. But then again, this is the last part that I, well, actually can use items for in this playthrough, so I guess that makes sense. If I somehow run out of Pokeballs trying to catch this Togetic, that'd be very, very strange. One, 2, 3. Togetic gets. After all we've been through over all this time, it's fitting that our final Shadow Pokemon is a member of the club. Togetic is at least a fairly rare Gen 2 Pokemon. You only ever got one of it in the original Gold and Silver games, so having one more is definitely nice. Stat-wise though, Togetic is yet another mediocre Gen 2 Pokemon that got a much-needed evolution in Gen 4. It's kind of set up as a mixed tank that can also use special moves reasonably well, but it's let down by its terrible HP, much like the last Shadow Pokemon that we caught. Also, I didn't realize until making this bio that it only had 40 base speed. That's a lot lower than I expected. Also, besides Shadow Rush, this Togetic has no offensive moves whatsoever on its starting set. And after Purification, the only way for it to potentially do damage is Metronome, and well, good luck with that, literally. Though if you're not taking things too seriously, Metronome is one of the most hilarious and fun moves in the game. I'd recommend trying it out at least a few times to see what you get. Togetic does, however, learn a lot of decent support moves by level up that not a lot of Pokemon got in this generation. Encore, Follow Me, and Wish. Sadly, its stats aren't really good enough to use any of them decently well, but it is one of the few Pokemon that learns them, so that's there, I guess. Now, you definitely want Serene Grace as your ability and not Hustle. Yeah, even multiplied by 1.5 times, a base 40 attack stat is not going to be hitting very hard. Serene Grace, though, is, well, many people know it for just how irritating it can make Togetic's evolved form to fight, but that's for a later generation. Here, you're better off teaching special moves like Flamethrower, Fire Blast, or Psychic to double the chances of getting those secondary effects off. Sadly, Togetic really doesn't learn much in the way of moves that benefit from Serene Grace in this gen. But that will change. As I said, Togetic got a much-needed evolution in Gen 4, and that evolution was very, very good. However, if you want a Togetic to transfer forward into Gen 4 and make a Togekiss, you probably want to wait until XD. I'll talk about that when I cover that game. For now, though, we end things off with another member of the club. Oh, and side note, this Pokemon's name is obviously meant to be Togechick, but someone messed up the translation. Okay, now I can safely double target the Melodic. And now you're going back to Hydro Pump. Okay, so at this point, I can probably safely say that you do have another full restore! Of course you do! Well, I got plenty full restores to match yours, so I can do this as long as you can. Probably. Oh, this is going to be a pain. I really don't want to switch Kick Face in at this point, because if I do, I'm probably going to get smacked with whatever move you're using, and I don't have any more revive, so if Kick Face goes down, I won't be able to revive him again, obviously. Okay, well that's nice, a crit in my favor. Could have safely switched in then, but I mean, how was I supposed to know that it would have used Safeguard? I guess I can just try and see if Secret Power does more. Let's go for Secret Power. I have no idea how many full restores this guy has. It'd be kind of funny if he had the same full restores as you do, but that obviously would be hard to program. Especially if you didn't have any full restores. Well, that'll do it. That's 3 crits coming off of 1 Pokemon. Look, if you're going to impersonate me, you need to get something straight. I don't have very good luck. And you're doing a very bad job of imitating that. Okay, that's it. I'm just high jump kicking you. This is over. This is over right now. Goodbye, Melodic. Stop being annoying. And with that, we have defeated ourselves. Insert Persona 4 joke here. So we kind of have, yeah, we see our own defeat animation for, I guess, the first time. So, yes, his name is Phaon. He is a terrible movie that I watched during my childhood. So, he was a Cypher peon all along. And that's all we get. This is actually how the post-game ends. That's the last post-game quest. We've caught every Shadow Pokemon. And I guess this is mitigated by... because at first I thought, like, this was a really dark way to end the game. That you've got a doppelganger of you who ends up ruining your own reputation. And where is there to go for Wes at this point? Does everyone in the region hate him? But the fact that it was captured on live TV showing that that wasn't the real you... And, well, since we're a silent protagonist, you're doomed to run around the fountain forever. I'm so sorry. You picked the wrong person to make friends with, I guess. Interactions with silent protagonists are always awkward. But anyway, with that, I can show off the Shadow Togetic that we just caught. But yeah, I guess things do end kind of happily. It being on live TV is proof that Wes was not really evil after all. And that's, everyone in the region can probably forgive him now. But Wes's job isn't over yet. We've still got 4 more Shadow Pokemon that we need to purify. We've now snagged all 48. But, like I said, we need to purify those remaining 4. But what for? Why do we need to purify all of those remaining Pokemon? Well, there is one final thing in this game that I want to cover. There's one final reward that you can obtain, and it is actually a Pokemon. A Pokemon that was very difficult to obtain in Gen 3 at the time this game came out. And it's a Pokemon that is definitely not... Like, you might be thinking, oh, you know, going through all this trouble, obviously the reward is going to be a gigantic letdown, right? No. No, it is not. The reward is very, very, very much worth it. But in order to get our reward, we need to prove that we are a master of both story mode and of battle mode. So, I'm going to save here, and I'm going to see you back on the main menu to talk about the last thing that I want to cover in the game. So, this final reward. When I first read guides, it said, snag and purify all Shadow Pokemon and beat Mount Battle. And I was confused because I'd beaten Mount Battle during story mode and I'd purified all the Shadow Pokemon, but I wasn't getting anything. It turns out that you have to beat Mount Battle in battle mode, not in story mode. And there are a few restrictions on it too. So you have to go into solo battle, and you need to go into Mount Battle versus 100. But before you do that, you need to register Pokemon. The registered Pokemon will be a team that you use from either the GBA games or from your story mode team. If you register from story mode, it'll take what Pokemon are currently in your party. So for example, this is what my registered team will look like if I go into register now. So, in order to get this final reward, you need to beat Mount Battle using a registered team from story mode. It must be from story mode. But there is an easy way to get around this. You can simply trade Pokemon from a GBA game onto story mode, and then register your story mode team from there. And you'll be able to use fully EV trained and bred Pokemon from your GBA games if you want to make this easier. But I feel like that'd feel kind of wrong. I want to do this with my story mode team, even though this will be a lot harder, because Mount Battle and Battle Mode is designed for EV trained teams. And the Pokemon in it are going to be quite tough. Unlike story mode Mount Battle, the Pokemon in battle mode Mount Battle are all the same level. Now, they're at a bare minimum of 50, I believe, but if you're above 50, they'll all be set to whatever the highest level in your party is. So, make sure that every Pokemon in your party has the same level. Otherwise, some of them will be a little bit weaker than the others. Now, as for Mount Battle, you can do either single battle or double battle. It doesn't actually matter. Even though story mode is entirely in double battles, you can still choose single battle for this and it will still work. And as for which one, it's really a case of pick your poison. I'll warn you that the final battle in Mount Battle single mode has a Kyogre. But in the double battle mode, the final battle does not use any Uber Legendaries, but the last two trainers in Area 10 each will use an Uber Legendary. So, like I said, it's pick your poison. No matter what you choose, you'll have to deal with an Uber Legendary sooner or later. Single battle might go by a little bit faster, but I don't know, double battles tend to be quite fast-paced, so again, pick whatever one you want. So, I actually do plan to show the entire Mount Battle battle mode. Obviously, I'll be splitting each area into its own part, and some areas might even end up being multiple parts, or if things get really long, they'll end up being sped up. I'll, determine how I handle this. Don't worry though, I will probably be doing it while I'm uploading another series, so I'm not going to have that be the only thing going on the channel, because that would get quite boring. But yes, I do plan to show this, because not a lot of people who cover this game do show this. But, before that though, you can look forward to seeing one video where I talk about some of the unused content in this game. Now, Colosseum doesn't have a lot of unused content, but it does have a lot of region-exclusive content, so I'll also be covering that. So, look forward to that bonus episode. And after that, look forward to the climb of Mount Battle. So I'll see, well, after I purified all the remaining Shadow Pokemon, I need to do that first, then it's time for Mount Battle. So I'll see you then.